For decades, people treated Germany's manufacturing base like an untouchable economic engine. The assumption was that elite German engineering, led by industrial giants like Volkswagen, could easily outpace any political or economic misstep. That engine is now stalling. Volkswagen is fighting for survival, admitting to the reality of potential factory closures while considering cutting up to 100,000 jobs. This chart highlights the internal collapse. While Volkswagen's revenue held steady at roughly 322 billion euros, their operating profit plummeted by more than 53%, falling from over 19 billion euros to just 8.9 billion. Data from the first quarter of 2026 shows the trend accelerating. Global deliveries dropped another 4%, driven by a 15% decline in China and an even steeper 20% drop in the United States. Politicians often point to external factors to explain these numbers. They blame foreign tariffs, market rivals, or the specific trade policies of leaders like Donald Trump. But blaming the outside world ignores the mathematical reality of production. Volkswagen is struggling because the domestic economic rules that once guaranteed its success have been systematically dismantled. Germany's industrial dominance relied on a simple formula: world-class manufacturing, fueled by reliable and affordable energy. That formula broke when the government shut down domestic nuclear power. With that supply gone, commercial energy prices exploded for every factory in the country. Simultaneously, a wave of centralized mandates from Brussels piled heavy manufacturing regulations and aggressive climate targets onto the industrial sector. As this graphic shows, the combination of skyrocketing energy bills and extreme regulatory costs artificially inflated the price of every vehicle coming off the line. By destroying the affordable side of Germany's winning equation, policymakers made it mathematically impossible for their industries to remain competitive on the global stage. Beyond just driving up the costs of production, political mandates began dictating the nature of the product itself. Governments forced Volkswagen to pour billions into electric vehicles years before organic consumer demand was ready to support the transition. This forced shift happened to coincide with a cost of living crisis, effectively pricing the average European consumer out of the market for a new car. These mandates handed a massive advantage to China. Operating with lower base costs and more advanced EV tech, foreign competition began to dominate the market that Volkswagen once owned. The result is this margin squeeze. Even when top-line sales figures appear stable, the gap between mandated production costs and actual market demand eventually causes the profits to disappear. When a state forces an industrial giant to ignore organic market signals, mass layoffs become a mathematical certainty. The immediate result of this collapsed profit model is labor unrest. Tens of thousands of positions are now targeted for elimination to keep the company solvent. In a bitter turn of events, Chinese companies have even begun bidding to purchase the shuttered Volkswagen factories within Germany itself. While politicians will likely promise rescue packages and unions will object to every closure, these are temporary fixes for a structural problem. Borrowed government spending and administrative regulations cannot create actual prosperity. Volkswagen serves as a textbook example of what happens when bureaucratic hubris and central planning attempt to replace organic market forces. Once a foundational industrial base is dismantled by policy, capital simply seeks safety elsewhere, a flight that signals a prolonged economic decline for the broader European Union.